Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Before we dive into today's story, we just wanted to take a quick second to say thank you all for watching. We truly appreciate your support. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, it's totally free, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest stories. Now, with all that said, let's jump straight into the story.
The fluorescent lights hummed, a relentless, sterile buzz that echoed the emptiness of the McDonald's lobby. It was 11:17 p.m., and the only sounds were the gurgle of the milkshake machine and the rhythmic sizzle from the fryers. My first night shift. A new chapter, hopefully. I'm Ryan, 24, and this was rock bottom. A minimum wage job pulling all-nighters at Mickey D's, after a breakdown that had cost me my apartment, my girlfriend, and any semblance of a future. But hey, at least it was a job. And they were desperate. "You're late," a clipped voice startled me. Melissa, the shift manager, was all sharp angles and a permanently furrowed brow. She wore her authority like a shield, and her eyes held a weary intensity one couldn't quite place. "Clock in. Orientation's over there." She gestured to a ridiculously small break room plastered with motivational posters that felt cruelly ironic. The other crew members were already there. Dev, a skinny guy with perpetually darting eyes and a nervous laugh that escaped him even when nothing was funny. Hannah, quiet and withdrawn, looked like she hadn't slept in weeks. Then there was Tommy, a broad-shouldered joker who, according to Melissa, had been transferred from another location. He was trying to crack jokes, but his forced levity felt off. They all seemed polite, but reserved, like I'd stumbled into a private club with bizarre initiation rituals. "Welcome to the graveyard, Ryan," Tommy said, slapping me on the back a little too hard. "Hope you like your coffee black and your shifts long." "Yeah, well, gotta pay the bills," I mumbled, trying to force a smile. I was desperately trying to keep my cynicism at bay, to pretend that things could somehow get better. Melissa ran through the basics, clocking in, food safety, handling the drive-thru. Then she pointed to a faded piece of paper taped to the wall above the sink. It looked old, like it had been hanging there for years. "Read that," she commanded, her voice devoid of emotion. I stepped closer, squinting at the poorly handwritten note. Read. "Midnight, remain still. Do not speak. Do not move. Wait for the lights." I snorted, a nervous laugh escaping me. "Seriously? Is this some kind of hazing thing?" Dev's nervous giggle intensified. "Oh, you'll see, Ryan. You'll see." Melissa's expression didn't change. "Just follow the instructions. I will only tell you this once, what you do with my information is up to you." The next hour was a blur of burgers, fries, and the mundane tasks that made up the late-night McDonald's experience. A couple of truckers stopped by, a group of teenagers fueled by cheap sugar, and the occasional lonely soul looking for a late-night pick-me-up. The air hung thick with the smell of grease and desperation. As the minutes ticked towards midnight, a growing unease settled over me. I kept glancing at the note, at the clock, at the faces of my co-workers. Hannah was staring blankly at the wall, Tommy was suddenly silent, and Dev was practically vibrating with anxiety. Even Melissa seemed more tense, her gaze fixed on the security monitors. Then, precisely at 12 a.m., the lights went out. A sudden, absolute darkness descended, swallowing the restaurant whole. The hum of the fryers ceased. The gurgle of the milkshake machine died. An unnatural silence pressed in, heavy and suffocating. It wasn't just the absence of sound, it was something else. A weight, a presence. I instinctively gasped, then remembered the note. "Remain still. Do not speak. Do not move." I froze, heart pounding against my ribs, every nerve screaming. I felt a prickling sensation on my skin, like I was being watched. After what felt like an eternity, but was probably only 20 seconds, the lights flickered back on. The relief was immediate, almost euphoric. But then I noticed, Tommy was gone. Just gone. 1 second he was there, standing near the drink dispenser, and the next, nothing. I stared at the empty space, my mind struggling to process what had happened. Where did he go? Melissa didn't even look surprised. "He left early. It happens. Back to work." Her voice was flat, dismissive. "But his stuff." I stammered. "He probably just forgot it," she said, already turning away. I was confused and disoriented, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. This wasn't normal. People don't just vanish. The next day, I couldn't shake the feeling of unease. I knew I should just walk away, find another job, pretend none of it ever happened. But something kept pulling me back. Maybe it was morbid curiosity, maybe it was the nagging feeling that I had to know the truth. The first thing I did when I got to work was check the security footage. Melissa's office was unlocked, and I slipped inside when no one was looking. But the footage from the midnight blackout was gone. Wiped clean. Every other timestamp was there, but the crucial 20 seconds were missing. That night I checked Tommy's locker. It was untouched, coat and phone still inside. He hadn't just left early. He'd vanished. The atmosphere that night was even more oppressive than before. Hannah looked like she was on the verge of a panic attack, and Dev's nervous laughter was a constant, grating soundtrack. Melissa was even colder, even more distant. And then it happened again. Exactly at midnight, the lights went out. The same suffocating darkness, the same unnatural silence. This time I was ready. I braced myself, focusing on staying still, fighting the urge to scream. When the lights returned, Dev was gone. I completely lost it. What the fucking hell is going on? I yelled, my voice echoing in the sudden silence. Where did they go? The others just stared at me, their faces blank, almost robotic. Hannah finally spoke, her voice barely a whisper. It's always one. Never scream. Never move. What does that even mean? I demanded. Melissa stepped forward, her eyes hard. You're disturbing the peace. Get back to work, Ryan. I couldn't take it anymore. I walked out. I went home and called the corporate office. I tried to quit. A woman with a soothing voice told me I was contractually obligated to work for 7 more days. 7 more days? What kind of contract was this? Then she said something that sent a chill down my spine. We appreciate your sacrifice, Mr. Hayes. We'll see you through the week. Sacrifice? What the fuck is she talking about? I spent the next day researching the McDonald's location. The building permit records were vague, but I managed to dig up an old newspaper article about the land it was built on. It used to be a 17th century plague pit. I dove deeper, stumbling upon local legends about an hourless thing, an entity that fed in time, not space. A creature that existed in the gaps between moments, a predator that thrived in the absence of light and sound. That night, Hannah finally broke. She confessed that she'd been working at the McDonald's for years, surviving the shifts by never moving during the blackout. She told me her sister had worked there before her, and that she had also disappeared one night. Melissa, Hannah explained, had been promoted because she never asked questions. The hallucinations started on night 4. In the reflection of the stainless steel surfaces, I could see shadowy figures. Tommy and Dev, their eyes hollow, mouths opened in silent screams. The fryers bubbled with a viscous, black fluid. Whispers came from the drive-through headset, unintelligible murmurs that seemed to claw at my sanity. I was losing it. I knew I was. Night 7. The final night. I was determined to get some answers. If I were to die, I was going to die knowing what the hell was going on. I didn't plan on dying though. I strapped a GoPro to my chest and told Hannah if I moved an inch she had to grab me with all her might. I wasn't going to let anything happen to Hannah either. I tied one end of a heavy-duty cable to the counter and the other to my ankle. If I were pulled, I could break the counter and hopefully be woken up. Midnight was approaching. Midnight struck. Lights out. Pitch black silence. I felt something brush past me. Not footsteps, something fluid, something slithering. Something trying to move me. Then a whisper right next to my ear. You're still breathing. That's enough. Lights returned. Hannah was gone. I was still there. The counter was fine. I ripped the GoPro off my chest, my hands shaking. I uploaded the footage to my computer. For the 20 seconds of the blackout, the video was static. Just snow. But then, for a single frame, there was an image. Clear as day. The dining area. Full of every staff member who had ever vanished. Tommy, Dev, Hannah, and dozens of others. They were sitting silently at the tables, their eyes black, their mouths sewn shut with thick, black thread. And in the center of it all, sitting where the manager's chair should be, was a massive humanoid shadow. Its form was indistinct, but I could see its teeth perfectly. It was grinning. I tried to upload the video online to show the world what was happening. But my screen glitched, flickered, and then crashed. The file was corrupted. Gone. Later that night, the corporate office called again. We reviewed the CCTV footage from your last 7 shifts at the restaurant, Mr. Hayes. We're very impressed with your performance in the workplace. You're eligible for management. Congratulations. By accepting the position, I have made a deal, and it was not the type of deal you could walk away from on your own terms. My soul no longer belonged to me. The next night I returned, wearing the manager's uniform. But my eyes were different. A new hire walked in, looking as lost and scared as I had 7 nights ago. I smiled, a slow, deliberate smile that didn't reach my eyes. Welcome to the graveyard, I said, my voice flat, devoid of emotion. The new hire, whose name was Dave, did not know what was in store for him. I know this was selfish of me, but I threw away the warning note. So Dave did not know what to do at midnight when the lights went out. He was clueless. All I knew was that thing was not getting me. Not tonight. Not ever. Let us know in the comments section, would you have done the same as Ryan did and threw away the warning note?
Ready for spine-chilling tales that will haunt your thoughts? Subscribe to Forgotten Storyteller for eerie narrations, unsettling mysteries, and haunting stories you won't forget. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a story, because some stories refuse to stay buried. Join us, if you dare.